Okay, thank you for being here today. I know we're running over time, so I'll need to be pretty quick. If you'd like, what I'm going to say, I'm going to be fast, so some of the things, if you're going to take notes or you won't be on time to just follow everything, you can download these slides at bit.ly/VRMIntel anytime, so even during the presentation, just in case, you can have them handy at all times and just watch them at leisure. So my name's Antonio Bortolotti. I'm a property owner, and I started a few years ago, 12 years ago in the industry with a few properties that I just got from Rubbles in Sardinia, and I brought them to a pretty successful level so that HomeAway called me up on stage to talk at their first summit 10 years ago here in London to explain what I was doing because I was basically renting out my properties 3 times more than all the other properties in my area. So they invited me to share what I was doing to be unique and different and get more bookings than anybody else, which is something that I welcomed. I went and I just shared quite happily. And then that led to talk to lots of owners and property managers about what they really wanted at these events. And it came out that there was a big demand from all of us in terms of education. What do you do to get more bookings? What do you do to streamline your workflows? What do you do to maximize your rental income? So this whole led to a big crazy idea for me that was that to put together an online event, an educational event that could gather people from all over the world and try to learn how to optimize their business to success. So this led to the creation of the Vacation Rental World Summit, which was in the beginning an online event that gathered industry peers from all over the world, 15,000 people from 50 countries over a weekend 5 years ago. Then it went on to become a live event like this one here in Barcelona in 2016, in Florence last year, and this year is going to be in Lake Como. Now, how many of you here are hosts, if any? Okay. And how many of you are property managers? Okay, that was the slide for the property manager. So how many of you have been in business for more than 5 years? Okay, nearly everyone. So if you've been in business for a while, you know that the good old times when we used to list the property online on listing sites and bookings or inquiries were coming in like crazy are long gone. I'm not going to delve into the reasons why this has happened, because what I want to do here in the next 30 minutes is just help you tweak your business to perfection so you can navigate through safely through the troubled waters of our industry, and you can refine your strategies so that you can get more bookings, streamline workflows, and maximize your rental income. Now, the things I'm going to share are the result of my own personal experiences and that of the owners and the property managers I've had the pleasure to work with over time during 12 years. So some of the things you're going to hear might appeal more to property owners than property managers. My point here is to give you some light bulbs, give you an inspiration. If you're property managers, try to approach what you're going to see here as an epiphany, if possible, or as if a way if you can take some takeaways from what I'm going to share and implement it in your daily operations in order to maximize conversions and ultimately get more bookings. So there are several factors that determine the success of your business. In my opinion, the number one factor that determines the success of your business is communication. And when I talk about communication, I mean the way you communicate at every stage of the customer journey influences significantly your prospect's decision to book your properties over someone else's. And there are, of course, factors that you can't control, like the rules of the OTAs, the budget that travelers have, or the destination that they decide to choose. But there are some other factors that you're absolutely in control of, and you have to be aware of what these factors are and work on them to optimize the most that you can. There are 3 stages in the customer acquisition process in every business, especially in ours. So the first one is attraction, the second one is conversion, and the third one is delight. If they're performed correctly, they lead to a 4th stage, which is a natural result of what you're doing, and that is growth by means of more repeat guests that you get, more referrals or word of mouth, and more direct bookings as a result. So my question to you here is, what is your major asset? Anyone want to answer that? Your what? Your view is your major asset. Anyone else? Destination is your major asset. Elaine, what is your major asset? Yourself. Yourself. Okay, the destination's there, the view, yourself, but I would say that, in my opinion, your website is your major asset because it's your own shop. It's your own Amazon, it's your own eBay, it's your own Airbnb. It's the place where people get either organically or through listing sites, and therefore, as such, it must be optimized. You have to do the utmost to make sure that you optimize for conversions at every stage. And conversions can be a viewer taking action on your site, which can be sending you an inquiry, making an instant booking, or just starting a rapport with you. That's what you want. That ultimately leads to the engagement and the conversion. Now, again, the website is the place where you have the chance to bring the business to you. As such, you have to make sure that it wows your prospects, that it just, Simon was saying earlier this morning at the beginning, the wow factor. There are so many websites that don't impress at all, and you have only a few seconds to impress someone when they're landing there. If you think about it, they go on the listing sites, then they go on Booking.com, Airbnb, they know the brand, they go there because they're used to it, they're educated to go to it. But if they land on your website, you have only a few minutes to make a striking first impression that lasts, and you have only a few things to ensure that you're going to convince them that it's worth it booking on your site and not going back to the listing site or somewhere else or going to a competitor. Now, there are some good news, and the good news are this one.
There's a growing trend that is concerning, and that touches on consumers circumventing the OTA websites to book directly on the hotel site.
So this was a few weeks ago on CNBC, and was basically saying what's happening, what's actually occurring. We're not stupid, we're all travelers, so there's a growing trend of people that land on Airbnb or on the OTAs or Booking or HomeAway, and they know that if they do a little research online, they may find your website and try to circumvent the OTAs because they don't want to pay the extra commissions, or they just want to see if there's a better deal around. So when they land on your website, that's the moment when you can really make a difference. So I'm going to be very quick on this. This is a website that I worked on 3 years ago in Spain, and this is exactly the same property. On the left, you have a website 1.0, and I'm surprised still how many websites are looking like this. Alan, you know about it as well. You've got lots of people that are coming with the soup to get a new website. And on the right-hand side, you have a different site, the website 2.0, which is, we're talking about the same property here, but it's completely different, the experience that you have as a viewer that lands on this website. It's working a lot on the wow factor, and the wow factor is done by using like stunning full screen visuals, like full screen beautiful pictures that really impact the viewer, having the usual stuff. I may sound like a broken record, like we all say it all the time, but these are elements that you need to consider having on your site: a clean, fresh design and easy navigation, the reviews, the testimonials, and the testimonials should be done in a certain way, possibly with a picture of a person, the name if possible, because it makes it more credible, it makes it more trustable if you give a face to a name. A map to identify where the property is, because you won't know how many times people land on your site and they see what it is, but they maybe have no idea where exactly it is, and they need to know where it is. Media coverage, if you can get it, a contact form on every page of your site, and possibly use the contact form to engage and attract people. So put like a background image, a different one for every page. Put a full screen call to action. It's a button that's normally, I would put it at the bottom of the page, because when you scroll down, especially on mobile, that's how it's easy for you to go to the next page, and so keep being on your website. And if possible, add floor plans. You have to put yourself in your guest's shoes. So you have to think that whoever's there knows nothing about your property, knows nothing about your business, and so if you're able to convey the right feeling, your chances of increasing that guest go to the sky. This is, for example, the 360 panorama virtual tour of our properties in Sardinia, and you see, the moment you're there and you start scrolling and you see the way it gives you a much different impact than just watching maybe slideshow or something on a listing site. So all these things here, and again, you can download the slides at bit.ly/VRMIntel to just watch them at leisure later on if you want. But all these things are not the result of guesswork. There are studies underneath on what makes people tick and what makes them move. One question that I have for you is, how do you measure effectiveness and good user experience so you know that your site performs well? Maybe, you might say Google Analytics. There are a number of tools that you can use. Is any one of you familiar with Usertesting.com? You are? You are? Have you been using it? You'll use it next week? Okay, great. So for those of you that don't know, Usertesting is a really cool website that, as it says, unlock customer insights and increase your revenue by giving you great videos of real people that are speaking their thoughts as they use your website. And you will never know what comes out of it. It's amazing, it's spectacular. It's live feedback from users that are telling you what's wrong in your website. There are lots of things that you may think you realize you take for granted many times. When we've done website for some of our peers, in the beginning, we were running tests, and we got, for example, that people said like, oh, the site that you saw earlier, oh, that's a beautiful place, but I don't understand, is this a hotel? Is this a bed and breakfast? Is that a vacation rental? So the first input was, it wasn't clear what this was. So we went back, tweaked it, and wrote 3 beautiful properties. Then we ran another test, and people were saying, beautiful, but where are they? We don't know. So we put the location. So the thing here is that the more you go and do this back and forth, by following the feedback you get from your user, the better your website will become, so that when you're done your job really well, the final expectation that you should have is when you start getting feedbacks that are like this one here. I'm not going to run it all, but just to give an idea what you should have.
Oh, wow. Well, that explains why it takes a little while to load up, and it's definitely worth the wait. Whoa, okay. Well, this definitely looks, well, dude. Whoever did this website's awesome. These are some great shots. I do want to find out more. Where do I go? Cool. All right, obviously this website is about little cottages and whatnot where you want to live or spend some time in I guess these locations. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. I might. It's definitely in Spain. so I don't want to embarrass myself. Anywho, this is fantastic. I really like this place. It's Casa Luna. Check that out. Yeah, oh, that's so pretty. Is it like a movie or something? Very nice. First impressions, this is beautiful. Look at this. These are some great shots. It's really selling me on this. It's a nice little place that you can hang out and, just enjoy the country. The first thing I wanted to do, obviously, is to check out the, Casa Luna. That's one that I kind of gravitated towards. I like these shots. I want to learn more about it. I'll click here and go down a little bit more. Self-catering apartments. And just kind of, read some more about it. That's really nice. Look at the mountainside or hillside there. That does something. What does that do? Oh, okay. You bump up the size of the pictures. You got 15 pictures here of the place. Very nice. Oh man, look at this is gorgeous. Yeah. Yep. I am definitely digging this website.
Okay. This is what the guy was saying. That's the kind of result that you want from a viewer looking at your website, going like, wow. Because the moment they do that, as Alan was showing earlier, your site gets sticky. The person stays there, starts navigating the site, they want to dig more, they want to get more information. The more they go on, the more they are convinced that that is exactly the place they're looking for. So you wipe out competition. There's no need for the person to go anywhere else. So another tool that you may be familiar with or not that you can use during this testing phase is heat maps. Okay. And I'm sure you know what it is, that they are, it's a little software that allows you to see how your website is actually being used by your viewers. And this allows you also to tweak things and understand what works well, put the call to actions where they need to be. If you see that it's not being used, certain parts, you can just remove them completely so that in the end you make the site very, very easy to navigate and a very enjoyable experience for everyone, because you don't even want the bounce rate that Alan was referring to earlier. The longer the person stays on your site, the more engaged the person is, the better it is as for Google, the more SEO friendly it becomes. I mean, it's all a win-win situation. So using heat maps and using a software or a website like Usertesting.com that I mentioned are two tools that are really useful for you to understand how to get through and how to do things better. Now, there is one more element, is the last one, and I'm a strong advocate of this, and this element is video. Possibly, Alan again was showing beautiful and compelling videos on your site. Try to use video on your site. Now, in this case, Alan earlier was using destination videos, and it makes a lot of sense because we're not really focused on the properties. We're more focused on the destination when we go on holiday. What do we do? So that compelling destination video is worth more than 1,000 words. But in this case, what I would suggest is that you use Alan's suggestion in combination with what I'm showing you now, which is a video of another property, of another website that we've done a while ago, and that it puts together the destination and the property. The attempt here is to tap into your viewer's mind and make him imagine being there and living that experience before they take the step to make the decision. So if you make it right, and there are lots of things involved at the subconscious level. So just take a look at this video. Watch it from the viewer's point of view. Try to imagine you want to go to Mexico, and after the search you've done, you found this one. the wine poured in the glass. Shower, water, and paired with the ocean. Pretty very powerful combination that really gets you there. Would you go there? Was that compelling enough? So this is one of the many things that you can do. This video was done by the owner, actually, of this property, who happened to be a marketer for like 35 years. So she knows a thing or two about how to put together messages and communicate things very well. Actually, when we launched the site, she didn't even know it. And she just reached out to me and said, I can't get over the fact that I actually got a phone call due to this website before I even knew it was live. Basically, she got someone that got in there, called, and made a booking that was worth more than the amount of money she spent on this website. So in like the first call, 5 minutes site was live, she made like $4,000. And it's been going really well ever since. Not only that, she had two properties. They decided to sell one. And you can kind of imagine with a video like this and the website that's behind, it's been pretty easy to sell one of the two properties for top bucks. So I asked her to be kind enough to tell her how do you put together a video like this? And again, my suggestion is that you download the slides, you read through these carefully, because I'll try to go as fast as I can. You have to find a video to model and identify what you like about it and be specific. What are the shot types that you want? Landscape, their property, the things to do in the area, the close-ups, the environment. So write down a list. Think about why a guest would choose your property above all others and what motivates them to book with you. What do they comment on again and again? And I mean, your reviews are a great source of feedback for you to understand what you're excelling at and what you need to improve. So use that feedback already to put the right messages on your site. Describe your target audience and the fantasy in their imagination. You see here the people just walking on the beach, going on shopping, going at the village, walking on going on a swimming pool, all these kind of things that we all do when we are on holiday, but just show it so they see it. And how do you want your viewer to feel? What do you want your viewer to do? Outline the shot list based on the previous points and think of how to stage these shots. Props, the time of the day to shoot, the angle of the sun, wind, the models that you will need, the locations that you want to cover. Think of the captions as well. You saw the blurbs there that you'll want to help the viewer know what he or she is seeing. Find a videographer whose work you admire and who will contribute his or his own ideas, and that has the technical skills to shoot, the creative expertise to edit, and the camera equipment that's needed. And then exchange ideas and get an estimate. Normally the fee should include no less than 2 rounds of revisions and a reasonable production time. Finally, identify who will be in charge of staging and props, because if you cannot be there, work out who will do that for you. Remember that the videographer is a videographer. They do that. They can't do all the rest, so you need someone to stage the property, and he can't really waste time arranging flowers or cutting fruit. And then lastly, praise your videographer for the good work and explain what you love about a particular scene and technique and idea, because this can be, like we know, a solitary work, and client praise means a lot. I mean, even you're happy when people are praising you for the service that you gave them. So these are some sources of inspiration where you can get some videos to watch and understand the mechanics that are in place in each one of these videos, the music, the shots, the scenes, the blurbs, all these things. You can study these and think how you could apply that to your own properties, your own situation. Bottom line is, as I said before, your website is your #1 asset. If you make it sticky, you'll reap lots of rewards. I don't know how much time we have, so I may have to go very fast on this here. So the second stage that I was saying before is conversion. Once you have okay, we don't have any more time, so if you want to know more about it, again, download the slides. You can come ask me later on, and I thank you for this first part of presentation. Thank you.